We are here in Mexico for round 19 of the GP4 OC 2018 season. 19 rounds are set to be done, and we will have 2 more left after this. The 4th time we're here in Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. The circuit having the highest altitude of any other track on the calendar, which means it will be a lot harder and a lot more difficult for the drivers, even though the track layout itself is quite an easy one. 2 teams have won here over the past 2 seasons, with of course Ferrari winning twice and Mercedes winning once. Previous 3 winners here have included Florian Volker 2015, Will Nella in 2016, and Joseph Witters last season as well. So the big question is, will we have a different winner here this season? Of course, last round Amar Khan won the US Grand Prix by a very comfortable margin, meaning he closed the gap on Florian Volker at the top of the standings. So we'll see if he can keep that momentum up for this race. So 71 laps they'll be here, the circuit length of 4.304 kilometers, 17 corners. That record set by Jim McKenzie in the first race here in 2015 of 117.622. I'd imagine that record will probably be beaten with the tyres will be cars will be using. The tyres will be using will be the hard tyres. And the driver of the day from last time out was Florian Volker for an amazing recovery, all the way up to second, having been hit on the first lap. So anyway, here is the starting grid for the Mexican Grand Prix, and on the front row it is Franco Lopez on pole position with Joseph Witters alongside him in second from Ferrari. Good news for Franco Lopez to keep himself in with a shout of the title. On the second row it is Florian Volker in third and Amar Khan in fourth, and that's exactly the position that Volker will hope to be ahead by the end of the race. On row 3 of the grid we have the 2 Red Bulls of Nicolas Gal and Joel Hutter, 5th and 6th. Row 4 of the grid we have George Roque for Haas and Evan Byrne for Renault. Good qualifying by both those drivers, with both those 2 confirmed as well for next season. On the 5th row of the grid we have the 2 Force Indians of Thierry Tiernan and Roland Moichin as well in 10th position. On row 6 we have Franco Gamba for Haas and Gabriel Gomez 12th for Sauber. Row 7 we have Jamie Kennedy, of course, racing under the Canadian flag in this one. 13, Etienne Jones, a great qualifying by him in 14th position. On row 8 of the grid we have Kirosima de Rosa and Roberto Gamba, the 2 McLaren. A lot of cars qualifying on the same row. Different here on row 9 though. Palino Tomaselli 17th and Lean Campana 18th. Row 10 we have the 2 Toro Rossos of Laura Chung and David Greenwood, of course, now replacing Enis Parachki, who pulled out before the end of the season. And on the final row of the grid we have Felix Sontag for Williams and Maxime Titkov for Manor. So that is the grid for today's race. And team news is that David Kupok will be promoted from GP2 and will drive for Toro Rosso, and Matteo Catalan will be promoted from Formula E to drive for Toro Rosso, something which no one's expecting. And also the Korean Grand Prix at Yeongam will return to the GP4 OC calendar next season, replacing the Singapore Grand Prix, so it will still stay in Asia of course, but ideally you could say a better circuit. Now, weather for this race, 15% chance of rain, but it looks like the rain will probably come a little bit too late to influence the race, but you never know. The weather is not always entirely accurate, as we all know. So anyway, we are now here on the grid. 71 laps here at the Mexico City circuit, and the 5 lights are now on. It's going to be a long run to the first corner, and we're underway. And it looks like Volker from 3rd place made a great start. He's already got ahead of the Ferrari, and he might even try and get ahead of Lopez before the first corner. It's a long run down to it. And here we go, the 2 Mercedes way in front. Now here's Volker trying to make a move on the inside into the first corner. Will he take the lead of the race? And he will. What a fantastic start by Volker. That's exactly what he needed. For Williams, that's not good at all. For the car either. And coming through, it's very tight. Oh, and I think there's been a crash at the back. I think there's a wheel that's gone missing. Here's Roque trying to defend from McKenzie, and someone is out at the first corner. I think there might be 2 cars. Actually, Laura Chung is out, and Lean Campana is out as well. So what has happened here between the 2? So Chung, unfortunately, was getting mugged at the start. Lost a lot of momentum there, and cars were going by her, and she's racing with a new helmet as well, and unfortunately doesn't seem to have given her any luck. And did she get run into? And the answer is yes, and car came over from the left there. I think that must have been Campana. And did he try and go on the inside? And the answer is yes. So it must have been Campana that made contact, was it? And the answer is oh no, Campana got hit from behind, and it may have actually been Laura Chung's teammate David Greenwood who has committed the crime. And let's go on board with Greenwood. Oh no, Greenwood himself got hit from behind. Oh, and this is deja vu right here, and it's Sontag who goes into Greenwood, goes into Campana, into Chung, and unbelievably, yeah, the teammates for Toro Rosso. And yeah, there's not going to be a lot of harmony there. But wow, what a start that is. But a great start for the 2 Mercedes. Not a great start for the two Ferraris though, and now Carr is looking to get past his teammate Willows, who is mathematically still within a chance of getting the title, but I think after this race, unless he performs extremely well, then he's going to be out of it. And there was a yellow flag, so I'm wondering if he may have done that under yellow flags. Hutter's on the inside and moves up into 9th, but did he overtake under yellow flags? I wonder if the stewards are going to say something, as Sontag gets past the manner of Jones there for 16th, so I wonder what the stewards are going to say about this. Lopez still sticking right behind the Mercedes of Volker. Right now they don't need to do anything stupid because they're comfortably quicker than the cars behind them. But I just wonder what's going to happen with the yellow flag. I'm pretty sure it was still out at the first corner, so I wonder. Actually, the yellow flag's only actually ends just before the first corner, so maybe they might have actually got away with it. Maybe, I don't know. But at the moment, Lopez is right behind Volker, who doesn't seem to get away despite his rip-roaring start. Now Lopez trying to get through, heading into the baseball stadium, and he's unable to get it through there. Volker goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Lopez to be right behind him, and Carr, crucially of course, is catching up, so Volker is in a really bad position right now. He's got Lopez right behind him, and Carr is closing up rapidly. This is going to be a great battle, hopefully for the rest of the race. So this was on board with Joel Hutter, going into the first corner now. The yellow flag, obviously, it's out on his dashboard there, so did he make the move before? Oh no, I think he may have just got away with it actually. The yellow flag had gone, so I was right. Actually, just before the first corner, he managed to get away with it, but it looks like Sontag doesn't get away with it, and he isn't, because he's received a 5-second time penalty for overtaking Jones under yellow flags. And crucially, actually did, and this is the battle. This is actually Lopez going past Volker actually in the first corner, and oh, was he passed? I think he might have just about been passed before the first corner. And crucially, Franco Lopez now takes the lead in the Mexican Grand Prix. And now, unfortunately for Volker, he's got his main title rival right behind him, Carr. He might even make a move here. Coming into turn 4, he's trying to get through Carr, but he's being blocked by Volker. So, unfortunately, he can't make the move there. Willows might even catch up pretty soon as well if these guys keep holding each other up as much as they do. Byrne has made an unbelievable start. He's up to 5th. We've got 3 positions. And oh, the contact, and Gamba's wide. The 2 Force Indians were getting very close for comfort there. Now here's Gabriel Gomez. Does he make a move under yellow flags into turn 1? And the answer is, let's have a look. That is close, but Gomez just about gets away with it, I think. He just gets it done before the first corner. Now this was Tomaselli who made contact with Franco Gamba, and you can see he gets hit and goes wide. And Jay McKenzie as well, look at that, up 8th place, up 5 positions, so he's made a great start. Hutter himself, oh no! Oh, and and unfortunately for Franco Gamba, he is out of the race, gets clobbered by Sontag there, and that is his race done, and so the same for Sontag as well. Now here is the McLaren of Roberto Gamba, and oh, you can see there's something wrong with his front left wheel, and I think that's his race over, and yep, Roberto Gamba is going to retire from this race. So a lot of cars dying on lap 3 of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez setting the pace at 117.2. Now here is Carr right behind Volker, and this is going to be an easy move for Carr, I think, past him going into the first corner. And Volker's can't really put up any defence, and Carr is through. And I'm pretty sure his fuel actually is a lot lighter than what Volker's is. Joe's fuel, meanwhile, is massive. He looks to be doing the 1-stroke, which around here don't really think is the best idea. But see how that goes. Willow's still unable to get past Volker here. Now he's got Evan Byrne behind him as well in 5th. Look at the amount of fuel he's got. Volker must have similar fuel if he's struggling this much, as there looks to be a little bit of rain on the camera of Lopez, so at the moment the gap is over 2 seconds, although it's actually coming down, now down to 2.4. So as Lopez comes through turn 4 and now turn 5, now heading through turn 6 and 7. Now here's McKenzie, who locks up and might lose position to Hutt here if he's not careful. Hutt's going to go around the outside, and he takes 8th position, so he's recovered another one there, but you can see that was going to happen. Unfortunate there for McKenzie. He was going after, I think that was George Roke in front of him. Made a mistake, and Hutter took advantage of that and went through pretty easy. You can see this big gaggle of cars here for the podium really, and we're only 6 laps in. So here we are looking at Roland Moitin, who is in 10th position, ahead of his teammate now Tiernan, who's trying to make a move coming into the baseball stadium. Oh no, they made contact. Rule number 1, and they're off. Now Tiernan is off. Moitin has stayed on and has got the position, but now Tiernan has lost a number of positions. He's now down to 14th. Meanwhile, I was just seeing the gap out front. Carr is closing the gap. It's less than 2 seconds now. So Carr is surely going to go after Lopez and possibly overtake him probably in the next 2 laps or so. But for Force India there, Not a good look for them, unfortunately. And now here we are looking at this battle for what is P4. So this is Willow's under pressure from Bird. So it looks like the pace being up behind Volker was a bit of a fluke. Now Bird on the inside is going to make the move stick. Is he? Oh, there's contact, but I think Burn has just about made it stick, and he has. And Burn is now up into P4 and Willows. And yep, he's got a lot of fuel, same as I imagine I think Volker does, but I think Volker must have lighter fuel because he's getting away. But Burn made a good move there. They were lucky that they didn't spin. There was a bit of contact made, but fortunately they got away with it. You can see Burn coming down the inside, and obviously Willows were trying to turn just to get through the corner, and there was contact made, fortunately, and quite surprisingly. No damage done there. Now here is Evan Burn on a mission right now. He's already onto the back of Florian Volker himself, is 10 seconds away. Meanwhile, Carr is only half a second away from the lead. Now Burn on the inside. Oh, that was so close. Just about a bit of contact there, but Volker just about keeps the place. But there's Carr right behind Lopez. This will be crucial for him in the championship if we can get past Lopez as well. But Evan Burn having a great race so far in the Renault, trying to get past the Mercedes to get on for what is a good shout for a podium. And meanwhile, of course, Carr is now right behind Lopez as they're coming through the baseball stadium, and surely Carr's going to have a go on the front straight. As long as he gets a good run of the final corner and he's within about 4/10, he'll have the slipstream. And we've got a yellow flag on the circuit, and it's Volker! That's crucial for the championship. Florian Volker has spun, and what has happened to him? And was it contact from Evan Burn? It looks like it might have been, and it was, and they just got a little bit too close for comfort there, and Burn, thank you very much, and took the position away. But that is crucial, unbelievably crucial for the championship. Now meanwhile, this is Hutter all over the back of Willows, almost pushing him through the first corner there, trying to make the move, but unable to make it stick. No, sorry, it was Gal, I should say, who's right behind Willows, and surely he's going to make the move coming into turn 4 here. And he's going to go on the inside. Willows going to defend. He's going to try. There's contact. And Gal is through, I think. Willows is wide. Willows rejoins the circuit. Oh, he makes contact with the Haas of Roke there, who's going to lose position, I think, to Hutter as well. And the answer is he is. Now coming through, McKenzie trying to make the move as well, but he's unable to do it. But unfortunately, Roke lost out badly there. Gal managed to at least make it through, but Willows has lost out even more. So quite a messy start to this race, 17 laps in. Anything can happen. So Willows went wide there, of course, lost position, and then went into Roke there. Lucky, well, there was contact made, but lucky there was no damage made. Hutter managed to sneak through back up into 6th position, so Roke unfortunately lost out big time there. Meanwhile, Evan Burn, after his fast start, goes into the pits for his first stop of the race. So I'd be interested to see actually if he's going to do the 2 or the 3 stop. The 3, of course, will be quicker, but obviously, you know, have to pit more. But we'll see how much fuel they put into his car. So let's have a look, shall we? And so it's in, and oh, yeah, not a lot of fuel. So it looks like it's going to be the 3 stop for Evan Burn. Not a particularly well, slow stop there. But now Hutter trying to get past Willows into the first corner, unable to do so. As you look through the rest of the order, Burn is going to come out way down the field. He's going to come out in, it looks like maybe 14th position, I think. So he's going to come out in clear air, but he's going to have probably a lot of traffic that he'll have to deal with. So I'm interested to see if this 3 stop does work. But speaking of stops, Amar Kara is going to be pitting this time. He's been unable to get past Lopez on the circuit, so he's now going to attempt to do it in the pits as they're coming into the baseball stadium. And is Carr going to make a late move on the inside here? You don't see many moves here, and so Carr is unable to make it stick. So he's going to have to wait. Well, he's going to have to do it in the pit stops, it looks like. So as he comes around the final corner, takes a very unusual line, gets the best line to come into the pits. And so here we go. I wonder if he'll be on similar fuel to Burn, or if he'll put more fuel in. Meanwhile, Franco Gamer has received a 10-place grid penalty for causing the incident with Felix Sontag, so not good for him, unfortunately. Not been, well, I mean, it hasn't been a great season, but it's not been a great last few races, not quite gone their way.
Okay, no pressure.
But Carr comes in and he puts in, I think, slightly more fuel than what Evan Burn put in, so it looks like, yep, they're on similar strategies. So Carr comes out of the pits, and where is he going to come out on the circuit, though? He's going to come out, looks like, behind Miglos Gauji. Will he come out behind this battle between Hutter and Willows? That will be interesting to see. And where is Carr coming out onto the circuit? I can't see him. I don't know if he's come out yet. And actually, there he is. He comes out, it looks like, behind Roke, I think, as Mackenzie's into the pits as well. And yes, he does come up behind George Roke. Meanwhile, Hutter does make it through on the inside of Carr's teammate Willows, and now is temporarily up into P3. Willows, of course, really struggling on this amount of fuel. I think Carr probably would have wished he would have kind of ahead of Willows and Rogue, or ideally this whole pack really, so he'd have fresh air. He'll have to do some overtaking, and unfortunately for him, he's got Florian Volker behind him too. That'll have to watch out, even though he's on much worse tyres. He's got not as much grip. Meanwhile, Gal at the moment temporarily in second position. Gilles Hutter at the moment in third. Now here we are looking at Jay McKenzie, who's trying to go past Maxim Titkov into the first corner. He's just about in the slipstream of the Manor, and he's going to surely make a move into the first corner. Look at that, over 330 kilometers an hour, well over 200, and McKenzie trying to make it on the inside. Oh, there's contact, I think, and McKenzie's through. Yes, McKenzie does make it through past Titkov up into 13th position. That was very, very close. Titkov was not taking that one lying down, and yep, there was a clear bit of contact there. That was enough to unsettle Titkov and allow McKenzie through. Now, Franco Lopez is in the pits for his first stop of the race, and pitting at around lap 23. I would imagine that this will probably be a 2-stop. So he comes in, and yep, that is definitely going to be a 2-stopper. He's going very long on this stint, so he's going to be going quite a few laps. So he's going to be pitting fairly close to the end, but it'll be on very quick tyres. His tyres will be the freshest out of everyone, I would imagine. He's the first driver to go this long, so we'll see if this works out for him or not. So where's he going to come out onto the circuit, actually? Does he come out crucially ahead of Armar Carr? This will be important in the race. So Lopez comes out. There's Willows coming through now. Rogue's going to be close behind him, and crucially, that is Lopez coming out ahead of that gaggle of cars. So that is crucial for Franco Lopez. He's ahead of Willows, and so that is crucial for him for this race. And but the unfortunate thing for Lopez is he's got heavy fuel load, and even though Willows is on, his tyres are 24 laps old, he has lighter fuel, which means his car will probably be quicker. Now Willows trying desperately to get on the inside to help his teammate, unable to do it, and of course Roke is in the middle of all this, and so Carl will be wanting to get past Roke ASAP. He still hasn't actually passed him since his pit stop, but at this moment in time, it is the two Red Bulls that are out front 1 and 2. They'll be pitting in a few laps' time, but it looks like they'll probably be doing the 2-stop as well, I would imagine. But a big battle here for third. Willows all over the back of Lopez, still trying to get his tyres up to temperature here. He's crucially ahead of this gaggle of cars, which is important for him as well. But at the moment, fuel-wise, it's making his car slower. So Willows might even try and make a move around the first corner here. But of course, Volker's just about hanging there in the distance, watching this all happen. Willows will be not pitting for another 20 laps or so, or probably in about the lap 43 mark, I'd say. He'll probably pit. Now, coming onto the front straight, the question is, will Willows try and make a move into the first corner? Meanwhile, I think I just saw George Roke actually going into the pits on this lap. So here we are looking at this battle for third position. Will Willows try and make a move on the inside of Lopez into the first corner? He's not quite close enough. Lopez moves out to the right, but unable to make it stick. Now, he could have a run through into turn 4 here, because Lopez not that quick, and now Willows is right in the slipstream. So here we go. He's now going to try and make a move on the inside. Is he? No, and there's nearly contact. Willows trying to go around the outside there. Not going to work. And so, meanwhile, George Roke comes out actually behind Jay McKenzie. So McKenzie actually has jumped him in the stops, it looks like. Meanwhile, this battle between Willows and Lopez still raging on. And I think it will probably rage on until Willows makes a stop, which will not, of course, be for a while. Now, meanwhile, Evan Byrne trying to make a move on the inside of De Rossa, and there's a little bit of contact, but no harm done. The harm for Byrne is he's not made it through. So De Rossa, I don't believe he's stopped yet, I don't think, so he's going to be going for quite a few more laps. Meanwhile, Miklas Gau, the race leader, is into the pits, and that will allow his teammate Joel Hutter to take the lead of this race. And Hutter actually sets the fastest lap. So that is quite interesting, actually. Hutter, so both the two Red Bulls haven't pitted yet, but their pace seemingly is pretty good. And for Hutter, I wonder if he's going to try the overcut on Miklas Gau. Gal himself, who is going to be pitting once before the end, of course. And, this is quite a long stop. I don't think it was quite as quick as he probably would have wanted. Gal's going to come out behind this battle between Carr and Willows. I would imagine Carr is going to get past Willows. Willows will let him through. Carr's on the inside. This should be the move done, and the answer is yes. Carr is finally through, but unfortunately for him, of course, he's pitting fairly soon. And now Gal comes out just ahead of Gabriel Gomez, although Gomez is going to go past him, it looks like, into the first corner. Will he? The answer is yes, he does. Not exactly good for Gal, but it means he'll have a bit of fresh air and won't have to worry about Gomez because he'll be pitting soon anyway. Meanwhile, Joel Hutter is going to pit this lap, and actually that could help him, come to think of it, with Gal being held up by Gomez there. I wonder if Hutter could overcut Miguel's Gal here and get in front of him. The gap is about 26 seconds, so it's certainly possible. So this is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So Hutter is going to pit this lap. Red Bulls, who we didn't really think were in it, could still be in with a shout of a podium here. I mean, God forbid, maybe even the race win. But anyway, Joel Hutter comes into the pits for his first stop of this race. Now, let's have a look and see. Does he come out ahead of his teammate Gal? Because he was about 12 seconds ahead of this of the leader. So he's ahead of Lopez, who's just ahead of Carr. So of course Carr's caught up to the back of Lopez. So this is going to be a crucial battle for the lead. Meanwhile, Hutter comes in, and he'll be going actually a little bit less than what Gal did. But let's see if this works out for him or not. Meanwhile, Hutter comes out of the pits. He'll come up behind this gaggle of cars, but he'll be in fresh air. Does he come out ahead of Gal? I'm pretty sure he will, because Gal's not even come through the final corner yet. And as Hutter finally comes to the end of the pit lane, and finally he goes. Would he come out ahead of Gomez as well? This could be close, actually. And Hutter comes out of the pits, and no, he's going to come out way ahead. So that has worked out very well for Joel Hutter. He has come out ahead of Miguel Gal. And even though he's got, even though he's pitting earlier than Gal, he'll have less fuel, so he's going to be a lot quicker than him. So for Joel Hutter, that's actually worked out pretty well for him. And I wonder if he'll now start to go after the top 4 in front of him. Meanwhile, Gabriel Gomez himself is not going to be pitting for quite a few laps yet. But meanwhile, we're looking at Volker right now in P4. This is the battle, though, crucially for P1 between Lopez and Carr. And of course, Lopez will be hoping that, or Volker will be hoping that Lopez can do him a favour. Now, as they come through the S, is heading towards the baseball stadium. Of course, Carr will be pitting again, and I would imagine he'll be pitting once more as well. So it looks like a 3-stop for him. So as they come through into the baseball stadium, Lopez leading, Carr second, Willows still there in third, still there or thereabouts. Now as they come through the final corner, will Carr make the move into the first corner? He's close enough, he could easily have the slipstream as well. And here we go, coming onto the front straight, coming across the line, lap 30. Now surely Carr's going to make the move, and look at how quick he's already getting past Lopez. This is going to be a very easy move for Carr, heading towards the first corner, and Carr is going to take the lead, and he does. So that is good for the championship for him. Lopez unfortunately couldn't hold him off. And you can see the amount of fuel Lopez has, so of course he's never really going to be able to hold him. But of course technically they're on different strategies, so Lopez can just let him go. Meanwhile, Volker's still hanging onto the back. As we look at Joel Hutter in 5th position. Gal's still not exactly closing up to the back of Gomez either. Meanwhile, Evan Byrne is going to be pitting once again. Unfortunately for Byrne, actually, it didn't seem to have worked out that well for him. He's in 10th and he's made a stop, and he's going to have to make another one. So not really worked out as well as he would have imagined, unfortunately, having been running up in 3rd earlier on in the race. So as we look, now this is the battle for P16. Now looking at Willows in 3rd, the gap to Volker just under half a second, and there he is. Now coming into the baseball stadium. This is spectacular, really, this, going into this bit. And now here's David Greenwood trying to make a move on the inside of Tick-Off into the first corner. And Greenwood unable to make it stick there, and I thought there was going to be contact, but fortunately no contact made. Now here we are looking at Carr. Looking at actually the gap between Carr and Lopez is 1.8 seconds. Hutter's still got a decent gap over Gomez behind him. He's getting away, and Gal's not really challenging Gomez behind, so unfortunately it's not working out particularly well for Miguel Gal getting done by Hutter in the stop there, as actually Hutter made a slight mistake coming out of the baseball stadium there. Goes a little bit wide, gets a little bit out of shape, and he's lucky he's not doesn't have a car close behind him, because then they'd be in a prime position to try and make a move. Now here we are looking at Joseph Willis still running in 3rd, not pitting for a few laps yet, but as we look at Armor Carr, the race leader, getting away from Lopez, he'll be pitting in a few laps time, and we'll see if Carr goes to the end. I don't think he will go to the end when he makes his stop, which will be probably in a couple of laps time, because he'll have a lot of fuel. I mean, he could go to the end, but it's going to be tough, really. It is his tyres will be pretty dead at the end, but as I said, he's extending the gap over Lopez lap by lap, and he pits now, so we're on lap 33. So I thought he'd maybe go a lap or two longer, because if he did, probably if he pitted on lap 35, I reckon he could probably go to the end. But anyway, so as we look at car leading this race. The gap now 4 seconds to Lopez he's got, but of course Lopez is going a lot longer. And crucially, Willers is still sticking behind despite the fact he's not actually pitted yet, which is quite amazing really when you think about it. Mackenzie is coming to the pits again. So if you look at Lopez, who of course will be under pressure from Willers behind, despite the fact he's on fresher tyres, it's really funny how this works, really. But we're looking at Armour Car coming into the baseball stadium, coming through and about to come into the pits. So as we look at him coming through over the curbs, he'll take a slightly wider line to get himself the best run to the pits that he can. Meanwhile, Willers is right behind Lopez coming through the stadium, and now would he have enough momentum off the corner to make a move into turn 1? It doesn't look like he's got it. And meanwhile, Volker still he's just been hanging there in the background, just waiting for something to happen, just like a shark waiting on its prey. So meanwhile, car comes in, and the answer is nope. He will not be going to the end. I thought he might have tried it, but I guess not. So he will not be going to the end. Meanwhile, this is Gal, who's now finally actually caught up to the back of Gabriel Gomez. This is the battle for P5. Gomez, who's not pitting for a few more laps, it looks like, and he'll probably be going to the end when he does. So we look at Car now coming out of the pits in 7th position, and of course he'll have the 2 Red Bulls in front of him, who'll be pitting actually roughly about the same time. So Car will have to make overtakes on the circuit really, because the Red Bulls are certainly within a shout of a podium at the moment. Meanwhile, this battle up front between the 2 Mercedes and Willers, of course, Willers now in a Mercedes sandwich at this moment in time. Not the kind of sandwich you'd like to be in. Of Willers, he's been doing very well on this set of tyres. He'll be pitting in a few laps' time, probably about lap, I said 42, 43, to then go to the end of this race. But at the moment, Lopez leading this race, and that's exactly what he would like, and it's exactly how he would like it to end. Meanwhile, we're looking at Maxime Titkov coming through the last section of the track, coming through the massive stands, and going into the final corner. And it looks like he's got now turning just in front of him. Unfortunately, the Force India's not having a particularly great race. It's all about strategy here. It's whether you decide to go for the short-term gain and long-term loss. But and anyway, we're looking through the field. There's Byrne in 30. It's a shame for Byrne. Unfortunately, the strategy for him has not really worked out at all. De Ross is coming into the pits this lap, and I think so was Gabriel Gomez is coming into the pits too. So we are looking still at this battle. The Ferrari in a Mercedes sandwich, that being Willows behind Lopez and with Volker behind too. Be interesting to see what Willows' pace is once he actually pits and is on fresher tyres. So it will be very interesting to see indeed. So meanwhile, Gomez of course is coming in for his first and I believe his only stop of the race, and De Rossa of course will be in as well. So will Gomez go to the end? The question, that is the big question, and the answer is yes, he does. So Gomez is doing the one stop. He'll be going to the end. And so he comes out of the pits, and let's see, as we look at De Rossa now in the pits as well, he will go to the end too. So it'll be a race between these two drivers, of course. I mean, as soon as you're on high fuel, no matter how fresh your tyres are, you're quite slow here, it seems. So as I said, Willows, even though of course he's stuck behind Lopez this whole race, of course he's not got the tyres to get past him, so he can't really. And I'm amazed his tyres aren't on rims. They've been going on for so long. He could be pitting in the 40s. So let's see how that works for Willows come the end of the race. This is of course now Tiernan, who is on the back of Etienne Jones. This is the battle for 40th position, and now Tiernan, if he gets a good enough run off the final corner, he might have a chance of making the move into turn 1. I think he's not quite in the slipstream. And oh, Byrne is off at the first corner, and Byrne is off, and is he out? And the answer is no, he's not actually. So don't know what happened there, but Byrne tries still to get past Tomaselli, which I think was his aim, and he finally does. So what on earth happened here? So this is Byrne coming into the first corner. Tomaselli really defending and not letting him through. Byrne was making this move necessary, and I thought there was damage, and actually there was. I think Tomaselli got a little bit of wing damage there, so I believe he has to pit. I think, unless did he get damage? I'm pretty sure he's missing a bit of his wing. But we're looking at yeah, and he did, so he did get damage. It didn't look like there was at first. But Florian Volker, meanwhile, is coming into the pits. So the question is, will this be his last stop, or will he be going one more time? And meanwhile, the Force India goes very deep into the first corner there. So Tomaselli, of course, is in, and he'll be going to the end. He goes winging, and so he comes out, and he's in at the moment in last. Volker is going to the end on this set of tyres. So as he comes out of the pits, not a particularly quick stop from Mercedes either there, only I think that was an 8-second stop. Not exactly very good from Mercedes, they're usually renowned for better stops than that. But he'll come out, it looks like, ahead of George Roque, or will he, as Volker comes out the pits. And this is going to be quite close, I think. And there's Volker actually, I think he comes out behind Roque actually. So he's down to 7th position. Meanwhile, Willows still half a second behind the leader. And now finally Willows does come in. I was right, it was about lap 42 that he does come in. And it'll of course be going to the end on this amount of fuel and tyres. So let's see if it's all worth it really for Joseph Willows. Meanwhile, we're looking at looking through the rest of the field there. Anyway, Willows is in, and of course goes to the end as we all expected. So he changes all 4 tyres, and where would he come out in the order? And he'll have his fuel's fairly light, or kind of lightish, but we'll see. So he comes out of the pits. He's down to P5, and it looks like who is P6? Looks to be George Roque, who's not actually pitting until he gets into the lap 50 mark. Volker, would he come out ahead of Willows? Will be the big question. Willows is at the pit exit, and yep, Willows is ahead, but I think Greenwood might go past him into the first corner here. He might unlap himself, and the answer is he does so. Yes, he does. Unlaps himself, and now of course Volker is right there, and he might even make a move here. Volker, he's in the slipstream of Willows. This might not work out too well for Willows, but he's got the slipstream, I think, of the Toro Rosso in front, so that is going to save him. And Volker's going to do a late launch on the inside, and he's going to go past Greenwood and stay behind Willows and try and keep it in the slipstream. But I could see what he was trying. I was just hoping it would come off. But at the moment, Joel Hatter, of course, behind Franco Lopez, and now he's pitting for his final stop of the race. And of course, the Red Bulls here, Joel Hatter, is in with a legitimate chance of winning this race. So the strategy for Red Bull has actually worked out pretty well. And Lopez is not pitting for, I think, for at least another 6 laps or so, 5 or 6 laps. So, for Hatter, this could work out in his favour. If he gets this right, then he could win this race. Meanwhile, Amar Khan is coming into the pits on this lap as well. Unfortunately, the 3 stop for him has not worked out in his favour. But Hatter comes out of the pits, and where is he going to come out of the circuit? He'll have light fuel, so will Carr. I mean, Carr's not too far away either, so who knows? We could even see like a 4-way battle for the win here. But at this moment in time, Hatter is in the favoured position, I would say anyway. But as he comes out of the pits, and crucially, does he come out in clear area? Is he going to come out ahead of Roque? And the answer is just about. But Roque's going to try and make a move on the inside into the first corner here. There's a yellow flag out somewhere. Roque's going to make a move on the inside into turn 1. Is there contact? Hatter goes off. He goes wide. And I thought there was contact there from the car behind, but fortunately not. So what happened here? There's a yellow flag, and it was Mackenzie who was off, making contact there with the car in front of him. So he loses time and positions. And meanwhile, we look at Greenwood, who's unfortunately had a very, very lonely race in 17th. So meanwhile, this is of course Miklos Gal in 2nd place at the moment in time. And so he comes through the baseball stadium, heading towards the final corner. But at the moment, Hatter is the favourite, although we got held up by Roque, who finally goes into the pits. So crucially for Hatter, at least he won't have to deal with him again. But how big will that hold up from him be? Oh, from Roque, that is. Because, of course, that could easily have an impact, of course, when Lopez does decide to go into the pits. And so as we look through the rest of the orders, at the moment, of course, Lopez leads. Gal is in 2nd. Hatter is in 3rd. The gap about 28 seconds. So, ooh, that's very close. That's just about on the limit, I'd say. And so as they come across the line, Gomez right now running in P8, running in a very respectable position at the moment, on the 1-stop as well, might I add. So he's had a pretty solid race, actually, I have to say. But at the moment, Roque, who came out actually in P7, so it looks like that's probably where he's going to finish. Don't see him getting any more positions than this. So Gal now coming into the pits for his final stop, and I would imagine he'll come out behind Joel Hatter after the stop, so we'll see. So as he comes into the pits, and I would imagine that Gal will come up behind Hatter, but of course the crucial thing is, will Lopez, when he pits, come up behind Joel Hatter? Will that incident, a little skirmish with Roque, have cost Hatter the lead? So we'll see as Gal now comes out of the pits, and surely he's going to be behind Hatter, I would imagine, pretty by a lot, but he'll probably close up towards the end because he'll have his fuel will be very light. So he comes out of the pits, and where is Hutter? Is he in front? And the answer is, and he still hasn't come across the line yet, so it looks like Gal might actually be in front here. So that mistake actually has cost Hutter dearly. So Gal has come out ahead of his teammate Hutter, and now Lopez is in, so it looks like it's going to be, well, it's still going to be a battle between the two Red Bulls and Lopez. But the question is, will Lopez come out ahead of both Red Bulls, and Hutter will be fuming with that battle with Rogue. That has cost him second to Gal, possibly even, I think, the lead. Had he not had that, I think Hutter would have surely been leading this race. So Lopez pits, and where is he going to come out ahead of Gal? This is going to be crucial. Now here's Gal, he's just coming around the final corner now. This is going to be incredibly close. It's only 25 seconds. This is going to be absolutely on the edge. I wonder if Gal might just about nab this. I don't know. Lopez is coming out of the pits, and here we go. He comes out. Where is Gal on the circuit? There he is. He's just coming across the line now. And I think Lopez is just going to have enough and come out in front of Gal. And I think he is. Gal's got his speed up, but he's not going to have enough into the first corner. So it looks like Lopez has kept the lead of this race. And I would not want to be Joel Hutter right now. His best chance at winning a race this season. And unfortunately, it's been taken away from, probably without with no fault of his own, really. I suppose maybe you could say he shouldn't have battled with Rogue, but I suppose it held him up a lot. It cost him probably 2 or 3 seconds. That 2 or 3 seconds was enough that Lopez came out of the pits and came out ahead. But meanwhile, of course, Gal is going to be on the back. He's got slightly less fuel than Lopez, and so does Hutter as well. So both of these Red Bulls are going to be all over the back of Lopez. He's just got to hold on towards the end of this race. And meanwhile, the two Ferraris are a little bit further behind. Looks like it's going to be a battle between them two for fourth position. Willers at the moment is in fourth, but Carr will want to get ahead of Willers because at this moment in time, points-wise, Willers will be out of the title race. Carr, of course, crucially, will has Volker in front of him. Volker is behind him, I should say, in sixth. So he's ahead of him, but he needs to get ahead of Willows to gain more points on him. And Lopez, crucially, of course, who is at the start, who is leading this race, and of course he's going to gain a lot of points as well. He's not out of the title fight by any means. I think it's going to be just incredibly close, point standings wise, at the end of this, if it finishes like it does. And so as we look at Lopez coming through, and Gal is just very, very close behind. Hutter is there as well. So can Lopez hold off the two Red Bulls for victory here today? How many laps we got? We've got 11 laps to go. Anything can happen in the OC, and it normally does. And so, meanwhile, Willers, of course, on the one stop as well in fourth. So Carr will be a lot quicker. And Gal makes a mistake there. Gal's getting a little bit twitchy and out of shape. That's going to allow Hutter to try and make a move for second position here. And that's crucial for Lopez, as he's going to get away out front. And Gal, can he hold on? And he just about does, but that's not what he would have wanted. And that allows Franco Lopez to get away. For the time being, anyway. But and that's not good for Gal. He needs to not make any of these mistakes if he wants to win. Of course, he would like to take a victory as well. Of course, rumours about if he'll stay in the OC for next season under pressure. And so far, this race has performed very well, but he doesn't want to lose it now. This is a great chance for him to take a win of what has been a pretty torrid season, really, you could say, for him. Of course, with Hutter not racing next season, but of course, Franco Gamma being a Red Bull. Only one spot remaining, and Gal will want to obviously take that spot, but he's definitely got a lot of pressure from a number of other drivers who want that seat. Meanwhile, De Rossa is in for his final stop of the race. He was running in the points, but he's not going to be running in it anymore, and that's because he had a technical problem, I think. That is why he pitted, actually. So he wasn't. So this was not, I don't think, a intentional stop or a planned pit stop. So we're seeing him right now. He was running in ninth. He was running in a very good position, so he'd had a pretty good race, but unfortunately, he dropped out of the points. I'm now on to the final lap of this race. You can see the gap between Lopez and Gal. It's about a second. Lopez has had the edge over Gal and Hutter as well. Both of those two moving up 3 positions. Good race by Gomez as well. Mackenzie up a few positions into 10th. He was higher early on in the race, so he probably would have wanted to have finished higher as well, but is what it is. But for Lopez, crucially for him in the championship, this is exactly what he needs to get himself right into the thick of it. And of course, with Carr only finishing at the moment in P5, he still hasn't got past Willers, surprisingly. And with Volker only in P6, this is working very well for Lopez. I can't wait to see what the driver's standings are going to be like after this race. But Franco Lopez, who has not won here at Mexico, he's going to be the first time winner here in Mexico, the first time in the 4 seasons, and Franco Lopez coming around the final corner, and he wins the Mexico Grand Prix for the first time in his career, and a crucial win it is at that. And so Gal now second position, Hutter in third, Willows comes across the line in fourth, Carr unable to make the overtake in fifth. He'll be disappointed with that. Volker as well, down in sixth position, didn't work out for him either, the strategy. He comes across the line, he is in sixth position. Tuve now turning a lonely race in 13th for Force India. Meanwhile, George Roque in the Haas, set to come across the line in 7th. Again, been another pretty solid race by Roque. Definitely got the best he could out of this race, although Hutter will be very angry at him, to say the least. I mean, he technically, I think, cost Hutter the win, I think you could say, from this race, as we're looking at Maxime Titkov, set to come across the line in 15th position, and across the line he comes. David Greenwood, he's finished, but way down in 16th, so pretty bad race from his perspective. Roland Moyton set to take some points for Force India in 9th, so I think I'll be relatively happy with that, I have to say. Meanwhile, Etienne Jones set to come across the line 17th, and Jay McKenty set to complete the points in 10th. So Evan Byrne, who was running at the start in 3rd, only takes 11th and finishes behind his teammate. That's not good for his perspective. De Rosso, you've got to feel sorry for him as well. He was set to get some points from McLaren, and the car failure denied him the chance of that. But here are the full race results here at Mexico. So Franco Lopez winning the race ahead of Miglas Gao in 2nd, Joel Hutter 3rd, Joseph Willis 4th, Omar Carr 5th, Florian Volker 6th, George Roque 7th, Gabriel Gomez 8th, Roland Moyton 9th, Jay McKenzie 10th, completing the points, Evan Byrne down 11th, with Joel Hutter again setting the fastest lap of the race, a 1:16.3, just showing the pace that he had in that car. So I said he would just be so annoyed he didn't win this race. De Rosso 12th for McLaren, with the following drivers all finishing a lap down: Turbine Turner, Paulino Tomaselli, Maxime Titkov, David Greenwood, and Etienne Jones. And the cars that didn't finish this race, 5 of them being Felix Sontag, Franco Gamba, his cousin Roberto Gamba, Laura Chung, and Lean Campana. So that was the race results. Now we'll take a look at the drivers and constructors standings on Mexico. And look at that! 5 points separating the top 3. Oh, I am so looking forward to the last 2 races of the season, that is for sure. Willows, of course, now officially out of the title race in 4th. Meanwhile, the rest of the order stays pretty much the same as it was before. Moyton getting a few more points in 11th. Roque getting further ahead of his teammate, Franco Gamba, 20 points ahead, almost out of sight of his teammate in the battle for the best of the rest there. Gabriel Gomez moving ahead of now Turin with his 8th place finish into 14th in the standings. Looking through the rest of the order, Campana 19th, Brachki 20th, Action 21st, Maxime Titkov 22nd, of course, David Greenwood now classified in the standings, but of course he's last and with no points. So the question is, can he get a points finish for the end of the season? Can also Titkov get a points finish for the end of the season as well? Of course, still without a points finish as well. Now we'll finally take a look at the constructor standings, and here we go. So Mercedes comfortably ahead of Ferrari. They can clinch it in Abu Dhabi, I believe, and I think we'll wait to see the scenarios the way they can. Ferrari, I think, have definitely confirmed 2nd. Red Bull in 3rd, I'd say probably confirmed ahead of Haas in 4th. Renault, Sauber, Force India, Toro Rosso, McLaren, Williams, and of course Manor last in the standings. So there we go. That was the Mexican Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to, as usual, guys, vote for your driver of the day, please, and give the race a rating out of 10. Don't forget to check out all our links in the description: Twitter, our Discord, the Wikia. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you for the penultimate round of the season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Yas Marina Street. So thanks for watching, everybody, and see you there.